Welcome to the lesson number 5, 7 QC Tools. My name is Ajit Sharma from Bob Cash University. So please subscribe to this channel and boost your career by the power of knowledge. Keep watching this channel. So what are the 7 QC tools? They are very simple 7 QC tools that we are going to explain today. At number 1, we have the check sheet. Second QC tool is cause and effect diagram. It is also known as the Ishikawa diagram from the name of the person who invented it. And it is also known as Fishbone diagram because it looks like a fishbone. The third one is Flowchart. It's also known as stratification. The fourth is Pareto analysis. The fifth 7 QC tool is the control charts. The sixth QC tool is the scatter diagram. And at number 7, we have the histogram. In this video, we are going to see 3 7 QC tools in detail. Number 1, check sheet, cause and effect diagram, and the flow chart. So why do we need the 7 QC tools? We need the 7 QC tools for simple statistical tools that we want to use for problem solving. So in order to solve problems, these are nothing but simple statistical tools which we need in our day-to-day processes in our workplace. Okay, so these are simple statistical tools that we use for problem solving. So they are used for, first of all, capturing the data, then for analyzing the data, and then based on this analyzing, we finally solve the problem. So this is the basic purpose of 7 QC tools, to solve a problem available in front of us in our workplace. So coming to the first tool in the 7 QC tools, which is the check sheet. So what is a check sheet? A check sheet is used to collect data. You see, this man is collecting data in real time. So it's not a historical data. It's data collection in real time. You have to stand on the line. Real time means you have to stand on the location, at the location where the data is generated. So check sheet is used to collect data in real time at the location where the data is generated. So like this person is standing at the location of data generation and he's noting down the real time data. The data it captures can be quantitative or qualitative. So quantitative data means that can be measured in numbers, and qualitative data is which cannot be measured in numbers. We'll see one by one. So a typical check sheet looks like this. So let's say these are let's say this gentleman is noting down the defects on a manufacturing line of refrigerators. So in the assembly line of a refrigerator, the quality guy notes that there are some defects of door handle not fitted properly. There are some scratches on the body of the refrigerator. We also notice low cooling, high noise and vibration. These are the defects found in the production line of the refrigerator. So how he will do the check sheet? So let's say he starts recording from Sunday to Saturday, all 7 days. So he stands on the line, as we have already told that this is a real-time data collection. So he stands on the line on Sunday and he notes that there is one defect found in the door handle. So when he finds one door handle defect, he will put a line under the Sunday like this. Then he's still standing on the line and he finds another door handle. So it becomes 2 door handle not working properly, and he puts one more line under Sunday. After some time, he finds one more defect in the line and puts one more line under the Sunday table. And similarly, he finds 5 door handle defects on the production line of the refrigerator. So he puts 1, 2, 3, 4 vertical line and 1 line slanting. That means it's a packet of 5. So we have noted down 5 defects of door handle on Sunday. Then next day again he stands on the line and he keeps on noting down, and he finds there is one defect of a scratch in the refrigerator, there is one defect in the high noise in the refrigerator, and there are 2 refrigerators, because we see 2 lines here. There are 2 refrigerators which were found having more vibration, which is a defect. Alright, so he sees 1 scratch defect, 1 high noise defect, and 2 vibration defects. Similarly, on Tuesday he finds 2 door handles, so 2 door handles defective, so he puts 2 lines under Tuesday. He finds 4 refrigerators which are having low cooling, so he puts a 4 line here, and he finds out 5 refrigerators with high noise defect, so he puts 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 slanting line representing the 5th defect. Similarly, he will fill all this, so he stands on Wednesday, he finds this defect, and so on. He fills all this table. So each line corresponds to 1 defect. So similarly, we add up all this and we find out there are 14 door handle defects in the week. There are 3 scratches defect in the week. There are 6 high noise defects in the week, and so on. So there are total of 32 defects in the week. So, and we also add vertically, and we find on Monday there are 5 defects. On Tuesday, sorry, on Sunday there were 5 defects. On Monday there were 4 defects. On Tuesday there were 11 defects, and so on. So we find out there are total 32 defects in the week. So we add horizontal and we also add vertical. This chart, when it is filled, it is called as a check sheet. So now, because these numbers can be counted, see, we are counting these numbers 14, 3, 5. Because you can count these numbers, this is called a quantitative check sheet. And a quantitative check sheet is also called a tally sheet. We can also have a qualitative check sheet. Items that we cannot measure in numbers. So the data it captures can be quantitative or qualitative. So this following example is the example for the qualitative check sheet. For example, in the same refrigerator line, each day we are given target of the number of refrigerators that we have to manufacture. So this guy again is noting down, standing on the line, and he finds out that on Sunday the target was achieved. On Monday, whatever target was given, it was achieved. Because achieved is only yes or no. You can't measure it. We are not asking the number of refrigerators produced. We are asking whether the target is achieved or not. So this can be only yes or no. It cannot be measured in numbers. Then on Tuesday, this man finds out that the target was not achieved. On Wednesday, it was achieved, and so on. So in the week, there were 5 cases in which there were 5 days in which the target was achieved, and there were 2 days in which the target was not achieved. This type of data is also a check sheet. But it is called the qualitative check sheet because you cannot measure them in numbers, right? Although you are measuring here, but each reading you cannot measure. It is only in yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So this is a check sheet. We come to the next tool in 7QC tools, which is cause and effect diagram. It is also called as Ishikawa diagram because the person who invented it, his name was Mr. Ishikawa. And it is also called a fishbone diagram. We'll see in the next slide that it looks like a fish bone shape. So what is a cause and effect diagram? On the right hand side, we write the problem statement or the effect that we see. So what we see is the problem in the process. So whatever we can see is the problem, which is written on the right hand side, and problem is nothing but the effect, because you always see the effect. But this effect is because of multiple causes. So these causes are written like this: cause number 1, cause number 2, cause number 3, cause number 4, cause number 5, like this. So these are the causes which result into the problem which we see in front of us as the effect. So this effect is the effect of the causes, right? So this effect is the effect of what? Effect of the causes. This is called Ishikawa diagram or cause and effect diagram. So we normally represent it like this. Now you can see this looks like a fishbone. That is why it is called a fishbone diagram. You write the problem here or the effect here, because problem is what you see, the effect is what you see. Because of the causes, you write cause 1 here, cause 2 here, cause 3 here. And each cause can have a further sub-cause. So you write the sub-cause here, sub-cause here. This cause can have a further sub-cause. This is because of what? Because of this cause, right? So this type of representation of the effect and the causes because of which the effect happened is called cause and effect diagram. Alright, these are the reasons, the causes of the problem, and this is the problem that we see in front of us in the process. Let's take a quick example. So let's say we are making a fishbone diagram or a cause and effect diagram of a printing process, of a screen printing process. So our problem is that printing is not clear, right? This is what we see. What you can see on the manufacturing line, that printing is not clear, right? Printing is not clear is our effect, is the problem. And what are the causes now? We separate the causes into the machine causes, reasons because of machine, reasons because of the method, reasons because of the people or man, reasons because of the material that we are using, or reasons because of the environment in which we are working. So, printing was not clear because of machine. What were the reasons in machine? The machine was non-regular speed. Machine was working in a non-regular speed. The machine was working under a low pressure. The machine could be having a high break speed, snap off speed. The machine's top tool may not be clean. That's why we are not getting clear printing. So these are the causes. These are the reasons because of which you see this problem. What are the causes? What could be the causes under method? Procedure not clear to the operator. So we found out that operator who was working on the line, the procedure was not clear to him. What are the reasons? Under the man category or the resource or the people category, that there was no formal training given to the operator. It was only verbal maybe training given by the supervisor. So this is the reason, a cause because of which this problem or the effect was created. What are the problems under material? Specification of viscosity is not clear. This could be one reason. There is a lot of variation in the material from lot to lot. Lot supplied by one supplier is different. Lot supplied by second supplier is lot of difference. So that's why this is also could be one of the cause of the effect of not clear printing. Then similarly in material, another one is that we find that there is no consistency in some of the suppliers' material. The same supplier supplying the material, sometimes it is of different specification and sometimes it is of a totally different specification. So there is no consistency, harmony in the material supplied by the same supplier. What about environment? Environment, there could be reasons because of which we are not getting the clear printing. That means the effect of, we are seeing the effect of not clear printing. What could be the reasons in an environment? There could be low light. That means the operator is working under low luminosity. There is a lot of moisture on the line, because of which, high humidity, because of which you are having non-clear printing and seeing this effect. So this way of categorization of the reasons or causes of the problem is called cause and effect diagram, or Ishikawa diagram, or Fishbone diagram. Coming to the next third tool in 7QC tools, process flow chart. Process flow chart or flow chart. Sometimes you will see flow chart, sometimes you will see process flow chart. So before that, we need to understand what is a process. So what is a process in general? It's a combination of multiple series of activities, right? It's a combination of a series of activities, many activities that do what? That convert an input to the output. In the output in the form of what? Output in the form of either a product or a service. So a process is a combination of activities that converts an input to an output in the form of a product or a service. So we have the input here, and here we have series of multiple activities joined together, giving out a output in the form of a product or in the form of a service. This is called a process. So the series of activities including the input and the output is called a process. What is the purpose of a process flow chart, or what are the objectives of the process flow chart? It gives us a bird's eye view, it gives us a helicopter view from the top, for example, enabling us to see the complete process. So we take a step backward from the process and try to see the entire process from start to the end. So we see a bird's eye view enabling us to see the overall complete process. Next, by doing so, it is easy to understand the overall process. So if you see sub-process by sub-process, it's difficult for you to understand. But if you see a bird's eye view, it's easy for you to understand the overall process. And what is the advantage of this point? This further helps us to identify the problem areas or the problem steps in our process. So when we see the overall process, we are able to identify easily the problematic areas. And we are also able to identify, this also helps us to know or identify the steps or the sub-steps, sub-processes that don't add any value to the product or the service. Even if they were there or not there, it doesn't really affect on the value of the product. It doesn't change the value of the product. It doesn't change the value of the service. So this process flow chart helps us to identify the steps that don't really add value to the product or the service. And finally, it is very useful in giving training to the new resources who are new to the organization, new to the process. When we give a process flow chart, it is very easy for them to undertake a training and to understand the process in detail. So let's take an example. So flowchart basically is a pictorial representation. It's a pictorial representation of the process. So this is a process. Maybe you study this one in the circle, or study this portion in the circle, or maybe you study this portion in the circle. By doing so, it is very complex for you to understand the overall process. So we use the flowchart to identify the problematic areas of the process by looking at the process from a top view, a helicopter view, a bird's eye view, or an overall view, because by doing so we are being able to see the overall process, right? So we are not seeing this portion or this portion or this portion. We try to see the entire process. So we try to see the overall entire bird's eye view, overall process, and we do this by pictorial representation of this. Now you see, it is very difficult to understand what is happening here, but on the right hand side it becomes very easy to understand what is happening on the left hand side. Step 1 we do this, step 2 we do this, step 3, step 4, and so on. It's very easy to visualize what is happening. Now in a flowchart we use 6 major symbols. A rounded rectangle, we use a rounded rectangle symbol which is used for representing start and the end. We use a rectangle which we use for an activity or an operation. We use a diamond shape symbol which is used for a decision. So for example, you want to accept this product, yes or no. So when you have this decision to go this way or this way, either yes or no or pass or fail, so this is a decision. When you have to use a decision, we use diamond shape symbol in the flowchart. Then we have a D-shaped symbol on the left hand side. This is used to represent whenever there is a delay in going to the next sub process. When the product or the service is under hold and is waiting for the next sub process to happen, this is represented by a delay with a D-shaped symbol. Then we have an inverted triangle which is used to represent storage. Whenever there is a storage, for example, material is being stored in a warehouse or it is being stored in the incoming store or outgoing store, this is represented by an inverted triangle. And of course, we are using arrows everywhere. These arrows represent where the product is flowing, where the process is flowing, where the services are flowing. So these arrows represent or guide us on the direction of the process flow. So these are the 6 symbols that are used in the process flow. Let us take a quick example. For example, you call some restaurant for a food home delivery. This is the simplified food home delivery process. Remember we were using this rounded off rectangle for representing the start of the process. So the process starts from here using a rounded rectangle by client calling the restaurant. So we get a call from the client and the process starts. Then order is requested by the client. The client says, I want this food to be delivered to my house. Then the operator checks whether the order that the client is requesting, is that order available in the menu or not. If it is not available, see, we are using decision we are using the diamond for the decision, right? So if it is not available in the menu, he will simply apologize to the client and close the call. But if it is yes, it is available in the menu, he will confirm the order and place the order in the system. Then see, we are using arrows representing the direction of the flow. Then it goes to the kitchen. The kitchen starts making the food as per whatever is mentioned in the system. Then after the food is prepared, it goes to a sort of warehouse, a sort of storage where the food is packed and kept for dispatch. So this is a storage. And now after it is kept in a storage, this keeps on lying here. So it is a delay because the packed food waits in the storage area till it is picked up by the delivery boy. because delivery boy has already gone out in the field to deliver the previous orders. So unless he comes back and picks up the packed food, this food will be lying in the storage area. So remember, we were using the inverted triangle for storage, and we were using this D symbol for delay, or wherever the process is under hold. So this is for delay. Then we move on to the next step, where the delivery boy picks up the food and delivers it to the client and collects the cash. And again, you see here that we are using the rounded off rectangle to represent the end of the process. So this is how the symbols are used in the flowchart. Please subscribe to this channel and boost your career by the power of knowledge. In my next video, we are going to see the rest of the 7 QC tools. We have just now completed 3 7 QC tools. The remaining 4 7 QC tools we will see in the next video in lesson number 6. Please do not forget to watch that video. And in order to do that, please subscribe to this channel so that whenever the video is loaded, you are the first one to know. Thank you very much for watching this video.